Hello, DHG here. I'm getting back into the cult classic, Deadly Premonition. So much easier recording with this new software. Oh yeah, I'm wearing the wrong set of headphones. Hold on a minute. Okay. Pardon me, I forgot I have to use two different sets of headphones for this. Not very comfortable, but this is part of Halloween Horde 2023. If you like my stuff, like and subscribe, especially on
Previously during the investigation.
Let's play a little catch-up
I'm
here.
Kaysen, Forrest Kaysen.
Thomas, did you see Nick here?
No. When I got here, he was already like this.
What are you doing? Get out of the way! I'll do it!
George, stay back. She's trying to speak.
No! It couldn't be! Nick! Oh, please, no!
You got us good this time, Zach.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. If you missed that, I think it was 2 episodes ago. At this point in the game, a lot of people are getting killed by whoever the killer is, that dude in the raincoat.
Zach, let's get back to the hotel. First Anna, then Becky.
Not
Now
even
Diane.
entirely sure it's a
I'm not
person.
looking forward to writing this investigation report.
Agent Morgan. York. Do you have a moment?
What is it, George?
There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Do you have any time later?
Can't we just do it here?
If possible, I'd like to go to a bar. Of course, we don't really have to.
A bar? Now that sounds like a good idea. Zach, what do you think? We can go drinking with George, or turn him down and head back to the hotel.
Sure, why not? I'm sure Francis York Morgan's just a pleasure to be around when he's drinking. He probably doesn't
George,
act
that scar
any
on your
different.
cheek. Where did you get it?
This? Didn't I tell you? Well, it's not from work. I got it when I was a kid.
A childhood injury. Tree climbing?
Knife fighting.
I used to get a few scrapes myself climbing the big tree in our backyard. I used to climb it a lot. And fall out of it a lot.
This wasn't anything like that, though. It was my mother. She did it.
I'm sorry, George.
Don't worry. It's ancient history. The world is flooded with unreasonable violence. The strong overpower the weak, adults over children, men over women, and criminals over their victims. I have no memories of my father. He left before I knew him. My mother would hit me every time I asked why. And it didn't stop there. If I ate too slow, left my shoes scattered around, TV volume too loud, she found reasons to hit me bad. The worst was what she called the tree punishment. She'd whip my back with these thin tree branches like a whip.
I heard about them. I think they're called switches.
I won't do it again! That hurts, Mama! I'm sorry, please! I'm sorry!
Tree punishment was definitely the worst, I tell you. Just hearing those words used to make me shiver and want to pass out. And that's why I didn't want to show you those scars on my back. Every time after the tree punishment, she'd always say the same thing. This is hurting the tree more than it is hurting you.
That's
And
stupid.
me, being a naive, dumb kid, I believed her. I went to the woods to apologize to the trees. kept asking myself, why is she hurting me this way? I thought long and hard about it. In the end, I've just figured I'm weaker than her. That's why. It's the law of Mother Nature at work. The strong eat the weak.
But now, you have the power to protect the weak.
That's right. Perhaps I should thank my mother for guiding me into this line of work. York. I've been an arrogant fool, haven't I? And if it weren't for me, both Becky and Diane would still be alive. I could have saved them both. You know, it's almost like they died because of me.
You're out of your mind.
I invited you to this bar for a drink. But I guess this bar is my confession chamber, and I wanted you to listen. And to tell you, well, you must already hate me for causing all these problems, not following your orders. York, I'm sorry. I'll follow your orders from now on. You'll have my total cooperation.
George, you've been as cooperative as you can be. You even invited an FBI guy to a bar for drinks. You've done a good job protecting this town. And the folks here respect you for that. Nobody can blame you for anything.
Thanks. I do feel a little better.
Carol. Which one was she? I don't remember. Georgie Porgy.
Hey, Carol. Becky is dead. Diane, too. We've got Nick in custody as a suspect.
Nick didn't do it.
I know. Carol, you took a locket from Diane, didn't you? A locket with this mark on it.
How is she supposed to see it when you're holding the wrong side up?
I'm busy, gotta go.
Her mouth isn't really moving in sync with the music. Then again, this was a 360 game. Wasn't exactly a high budget one either. Certainly got a cult following though.
I dream of thee like prisoner. You are conscious of my innocence. Everyone's just written out to know.
I got a medal. Oh, I can't go backstage? Oh, she's over here. Never mind. I want to talk about that locket. Her brother. Oh, yeah, that's right. See, this is what happens when you don't play the game for a year. You forget everything. Her brother is, the real feminine guy. I can't remember his name. He's always pushing his glasses up like Otacon from Metal Gear Solid 4. Or 2. Change my suit? Why not? $2 to wash it. That ain't bad. I haven't had to use one of them yet. Whole lot of nothing. Observe? Nah. If I can't interact, then it's nothing. I have a feeling that I forgot something. Zach, who was me. Or at least I'm guessing it's me. Oh, it's probably George.
Sorry to keep
This
you waiting,
be?
boys.
Zack, Emily is already a goddess of the forest.
Let's forget work for a bit and drink a little, shall we?
Oh yeah, she looks different.
Why is she here?
I just thought the more the merrier. You know, to relax and get loose. Is this a problem?
No, of course not. Pardon me, Emily, but I'm pooped. I think I'll just call it a night.
George, I just got here and you're walking out on me? I was hoping the three of us could have a drink and let out a little steam.
I'm afraid I've already had enough. And I already had a good man-to-man with York. So I'll see you guys.
I think George likes you, but he's avoiding you all at the same time.
How astute.
There's a reason?
Nothing worth going into. It's a thing of the past.
Is she a serial workplace dater?
Okay. He did ask me out when I first came to town. I was still in high school. But I
That would
never
be a
really
no.
considered him my type. And there's the age gap thing, too. I respect him, of course. I wouldn't have taken this job otherwise.
So, did you move to this town alone?
Of course not. I came with my parents.
Tell me about them then.
Sure, why not? My dad dealt in stocks in New York. He was hardly at home when I was a kid, always working. Those pieces of paper were far more important to him than I was. Which is no different now, really. I don't see much of him. My mother, totally different story. A wonderful person that I still respect. She was always kind and understanding. Not only that, but she would always help me find my way. She could be fierce, too, scolding me if I took a wrong step. We had our battles, sure, but all in all, she was a wonderful mother.
Past tense?
Yeah, she's gone now. Cancer, just before I graduated high school. She gave this to me just before she died. I take it with me wherever I go. It's what I treasure most.
I'm sure she's very proud of you.
Looked like some kind of a leaf. Can't remember which kind though. We had a Japanese maple tree in our yard before. Had leaves just like that.
I had a good time tonight. Good night.
See you tomorrow.
York.
Yes.
Please, don't lie to us, okay?
I won't. Don't worry. I won't.
I don't think he's lied about anything yet. He's not exactly forthright either. Where's that gun store at? Freaking place is never, ever open. Apparently there's a bone there. That's the hotel. He's always in a hurry. Move, bitch. Get out of the way.
Sam, picking up from where we left off, do you remember? How many years ago was it now? That multiple homicide of young girls in that college town in Illinois. All the victims.
Is that a lake?
Of course, she didn't naturally grow a second stomach. One of the stomachs belonged
can't
to
open the
someone
map.
else. As more victims piled up, there was one with 2 hearts, one with 2 livers, 4 lungs. Different organs each time.
Of course, those extra organs didn't do the girls much good, right, Zach?
And they say too much is never enough. In the end, we arrested a professor at the med school. They found the body of his daughter, dead, and the missing organs at his house. Do you remember what he said when we took him in? I was ordered to restore those deformed bodies back to normal. And remember who he said ordered him? An alien. Well, of course, we couldn't arrest an alien, so we arrested the professor instead. Serial killers can't be caught by logic and common sense. I learned this the hard way. That first case taught me that. Since then, these cases just keep getting more and more complicated. It's a tough job. I thought getting experience while I was young would make the job easier.
Quite a story. QWERTY. One shot heard around the world.
Zach, let's go over our progress. From what Olivia told us, and the sketchbook we found at Becky's house, Nick and Diane became our primary suspects. There were a couple of reasons for this. First, Becky gave the missing locket to Diane. Also, Nick has no alibi for when Anna and Becky were killed. We followed Nick to the art gallery, which led us, unfortunately, to our third victim. The third victim, Diane, was strung up in the entrance hall of the art gallery. Her hands were tied and a knife was sticking out of her chest. However, there was a marked difference from the previous crimes. Do you remember what that was, Zach? That's right. Diane was still alive.
Yeah, she seemed to insist on dying.
Which means the criminal was still close by. It was somewhere near the scene. There are two possible candidates. Nick, who was knocked out in the entrance. Zach, who was the other person in the gallery?
No, I can't remember his name. Middle dude.
That's right. Casey. We followed Willie, good dog, all the way to him. Casey's statement came out as follows. He and Diane were in a physical relationship. That was why he visited the gallery. The two were in the middle of such a meeting when Nick showed up. Diane lost her cool and shut Kaysen up in the basement. Now, what did Kaysen hear when he was locked up? That's it. The sound of boots passing by. Nick was wearing boots that day. Which means it was likely that Diane met with Nick in her room. Nick said he argued verbally with Diane about her playing around with men, but they eventually decided to go out drinking to make up. However, immediately after that, Nick was attacked by someone in the entrance hall and knocked unconscious. We saw the rest.
Zach, do you think that Nick is our serial killer?
No.
Me too. Usha sent in a report too. He found a large volume of red seeds in Diane's stomach.
Oh yeah, they were kind of falling out of her
This
mouth.
confirms her as a victim of the raincoat killer. Remaining leads. There's the locket, which is in Carol's possession. The man with the tattooed back, and the upside-down peace sign.
No idea who the tattoo back dude is.
Left to answer. I hope the coffee will give us more guidance tomorrow.
Oh yeah, him and his coffee. It tells him things. It's like a magic
Zach,
8
what
ball.
did you think about George pouring his heart out? I was surprised. It's the end of a monarchy.
Monarchies are horrible.
Instead of Agent Morgan.
Oh, looks like you got a
What's
visitor.
going on? Do you know what time it is?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Time for you
I
to
couldn't
get in
sleep,
bed.
so I was drinking alone.
mother was a very kind woman. She always smiled so brightly, baked cakes and cookies every day. She'd say that I needed the sugar because I spent so much time thinking. My father was always quiet. We never talked much. He was a federal agent, just like me, and he was hardly ever at home. The only words he ever had for me were harsh ones. I had a vivid imagination, and I remember he once said this to me. There are plenty of crazy things in this world. You don't have to go dreaming them up. And it's my job to make sense out of them. One day you'll understand what I'm saying. I learned later that my father was one of the first to ever use criminal profiling to catch bad guys. And so now I'm doing exactly the same job that he did. Like father, like son.
Can I ask you something?
Shoot.
Mind if it's something personal?
Fire away.
Do you wipe front to back?
Who's Zach?
Uh-oh.
Zach is a friend of mine.
Oh, so you do have friends.
Imaginary
Yeah.
ones.
He's my only friend.
What kind of person is he then?
Well, I've never seen his face. But he is always with me, and we discuss everything.
When did you become friends?
A long time ago. Back when I was a child.
Backstory time.
I was 7. I woke up one morning to hear my mother crying in the living room. This wasn't normal, so I headed in to see her. My father was there pointing a gun at my mother. I was so scared. I closed my eyes, so I don't remember much more. But I do remember the words my father said to me. At times we must purge things from this world because they should not exist, even if it means losing someone that you love. When I came back to my senses, they were both dead. He shot my mother and then killed himself.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What
Don't worry
the
about it.
hell?
Zach's with me. It was around that time that we became friends. I'm here. I'm with you, he said. I'll be here always. We can get through this together. Quite aside from that terrible scene in front of me, that voice seemed to make me calmer.
How did he pass the psych test?
And here we are, working together, getting through things. This is the first time I've ever told anyone about this. I wonder if Zach will get angry.
That's a sad story. But I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I'm sure there was a reason for what your father did.
I know.
That's a strange
I
thing
think
to say.
maybe I became an agent to find out why he did what he did.
Oh yeah, York, I forgot to thank you.
Thank me? For what?
You saved my life. If you didn't save me at the gallery, I would have died along with Diane.
No need to thank me for that. I'm pretty useless. I couldn't save Becky. I couldn't save Diane.
What did you just say? Useless? I was never expecting to hear you say that. There might be a modest guy in you after all.
Finally, you noticed? You're a little slow, aren't you?
Maybe hopeless, but not useless.
Zach, do you think Emily got home safely? Anyway, I think it's more serious of a situation than I thought. Do you remember our conversation with Emily? She's really interested in you. I think she's starting to have certain feelings for you.
That's a little weird.
If that's the case, Zach, you and I are rivals. This is a very serious situation indeed. Well, if it comes to that, let it be a fair fight. Agreed?
Still not even entirely sure who Zach is.
Thomas! Thomas! Let me out of here! Come on, please! Just a moment. 1 second. Hate it in here, Thomas. I think I'm going mad. I know you're there! Come on, please! Thomas! 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 Thomas!
Little loony, but not the killer. Okay, some BDSM stuff. This game's got all sorts of weird shit. Oh, okay, that was a chapter. Quite an unusual chapter, but a chapter nonetheless. Get this saved, and then I will move straight on to the next one.